we hear this word purpose all the time, right? Everybody knows the word purpose. So nobody's necessarily afraid of it. But I think if you were just to go up to ask somebody randomly, or even somebody that hey, what's your purpose? It's a very awkward question. And it's a word that it gets used so top heavy that people don't really think about really what their purpose is. And so for me, it's been a word that I've used my entire life. Even when I was, working in the restaurant industry, I would just go up to people and ask them about what their purpose was. And I wasn't really concerned about what their tasks were for the day or what my tasks were for the day. It was like, what is it we're really trying to accomplish here? What is it that drives you? And that word has just always been something that has driven me, because people just say the word and assume that you have a purpose, but they really don't question it or care to hear about what your purpose is and how you've learned to do it. So that's been something it's probably been my favorite word my entire life.
How does someone find their purpose?
Well, I don't know if I can tell you how they can find their purpose, but I can tell you what helped me set up the framework for my purpose my entire life, if it's okay.
Yeah. How did you?
It was a story about high school. So if you think about high school, everybody growing up has had their 15 minutes of fame. And when I was in high school, I got a chance to play on our varsity basketball team. Now, this was up in Maine. And so, Maine's a small state, a lot of small schools. Insert your favorite memory or Hoosiers memory here. No different there. And we couldn't go home from practice until we made 10 free throws in a row at night. And if you've never played basketball, you can appreciate a free throw, right? Every ball, you can see what a basketball is like. But we couldn't go home until we made 10 free throws in a row. And that is a much harder thing than just making 10 free throws. And when you think about a free throw, it's the easiest shot in all sports to take, right? But it's just because it's just you, the ball, and the goal. But it's also the hardest shot to make, because it's you, the ball, and the goal, and everything in your head.
So interesting.
Gets in the way. And so we did this exercise all through high school, and the 15 minutes of fame, encapsulated with, we made it to the state semifinals basketball tournament, and we played the game. I got a chance to play. The game got close, and at the end of the game, everybody's on the floor rushing the court. Coach comes up and says, "Hey, Brent, you know what you did?" And I was like, "Yeah, we won the game, Coach. We're going to the finals." And he goes, "Nah, they fouled you and they put you on the line 10 times and you made all 10 free throws in a row. You went 10 for 10. And that was kind of the beginning of what has set up my purpose story my entire life. Because this 10 for 10 experience, while I buried it, he goes, that's what you're supposed to do when you get out of high school. You're just supposed to go work hard, make a living, make a lot of money, and be happy. Little did I understand that this framework of 10 for 10 was going to be the link to how to actually achieve your greater purpose years later, as I learned how to define and identify it. But I think the biggest problem that people have is that I don't think really people really know what their purpose is. I think they struggle with it because it's such a word that we all understand, but again, the simplicity of a free throw of just you, the ball, and the goal, it's just not that simple because your head gets in the way. And so when people start thinking about purpose, there's all this stuff, right? You've got your personal life and your professional life, and spiritual life, and how do all these things work together? And how does it work? And so for me, that got really, really powerful. It's like, what is it I'm supposed to do? What is my purpose?
I think we would all say, yes, I know my purpose, if we were asked, do you have a purpose? But then we really don't know what it is. And when we venture down the road after we kind of get an inkling, we veer off track.